Okay, I found it. I had dinner last night, and I skipped it a little bit to join a couple of people that replaced me when I left Energy Future Holdings, the general counsel and the CEO. They had a conversation they needed to have with me. And I told them what was going on here, and they said, John, every time somebody's written a speech for you, you usually throw it away and rip it up and just kick it off the flesh. But I'm not going to do that tonight because this is too important. I will start with, thanks to these gentlemen here, this is quite the event. I have really a lot of respect for each and every one of them. We got to ask a bunch of questions today. And when Mark Ferguson calls me and tells me I've been named this, I just cried a lot. So I'm going to try not to do that. So as it reads, I'd just say, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, the fellow awardees, my great fourth company mates, the great class of 1978 classmates, and friends from all of my background, and specifically right now I live in Dallas and a bunch of them are here too. So thank you all. What's most important here for this presentation is the Brigade of Midshipmen. And I hope you've learned a lot from the gentleman that preceded me. And maybe you'll get something out of what I have to say, but we'll see. I'm humbled to be the recipient of this prestigious award, to be recognized by this venerable institution, which has shaped generations of leaders, is truly a profound honor, and I believe the testament to the values instilled in me during my time here at the Naval Academy. I must express my gratitude to the Academy for the unparalleled education, mentorship, camaraderie that have guided me on this remarkable journey. It was here in the hallowed halls of Mother B and the basketball battles on the multi-purpose gym, which may have or may not have been conflicted with study hall, that I learned the principles of hard work. To the brigade, I know that all of you, especially the firsties, are thrilled to be here listening to my profound and thoughtful remarks, instead of wasting your time on Liberty and having a cold beer or two. Am I wrong? Yeah, I didn't think so. I'd like to say that once I sat where you're sitting today, but I'm so old and gnarly that isn't even true because this magnificent alumni hall did not exist when I was a mid. But I was one of you. While never in a million years did I expect to stand before you as a distinguished graduate and be counted amongst these other esteemed graduates, but here I am. Thank you, guys. Rather than dwell too much on myself on how I arrived at this podium, I thought I would share why I think everyone in this hall could and should be on this stage. I attribute the success I have enjoyed to my career, shaping and modeling the character imbued in each of us. Imbued, I don't know what that means, but that English majors wrote this for me. In each of us, from the moment we entered Bancroft Hall through the day we threw our hats off in the air. And is the character that not only helped me on the road to success, but even more importantly, enabled me to deal with the obstacles, challenges, and yes, failures I have encountered along the way. That character lies within each and every one of you. Don't give up the ship is not just a slogan on a t-shirt in a mid-store. It is a belief and a passionate commitment to yourself and those who serve with you that you will gut it out, even against the daunting odds, to get the job done and done right. There's another great naval saying, this one from John Paul Jones, that has served me well. He who will not risk cannot win. When you first-class midshipmen graduate in less than 10 weeks, you will be facing what we call the minimum of 5-year service obligation. But that term to me is a little bit of a misnomer. While it is an obligation, it's actually an opportunity. you have, in that 5 years, you're gonna have clothing, you're gonna have a bed, you're gonna have food. You got all the essentials taken care of, and you've got plenty of senior and junior enlisted men that are gonna teach you a whole lot more than you've learned here. And I think you guys all agree with that. So I think that's maybe the greatest opportunity a 21, 2, or 3-year-old adult could have, is have that security, and yet the learning continues, and that opportunity shouldn't be told as an obligation. That kind of makes it sound like it's a negative thing. So I viewed my career, both in the Navy and out, as an opportunity, not an obligation. On May 24th, you will be given an honor and the opportunity to become what you have trained for over the last 47 months, a leader. As you lead and learn in every step of your career, I urge you to embrace the risk of new challenges and new assignments, and be willing to take the road less traveled, both in the fleet and beyond. You may make great mistakes along the way, but that is how a good leader becomes a great leader. As you've already learned as midshipmen, no success is achieved alone. It was my family, my classmates, my fellow officers, and importantly, my senior enlisted who made sure that when the challenge seemed insurmountable, I got up, brushed off my uniform, and got back in the fight. I failed to mention one other person, and that is, at the time, Lieutenant Terry Daly, who was a magnificent company officer and a great mentor to me and my classmates. My journey started from the humble beginnings in the Florida Panhandle in a small town called Milton. For those Navy pilots, that's where Whiting Field is, and a lot of the primary training takes place there still. I came to this institution with a great foundation of an extraordinary work ethic and beliefs instilled in me by my loving parents. My father was a proud Marine aviator who flew in the Pacific during World War II and later in the Korean War. On one spring day in 1974, he came early to one of my baseball games, and the head coach told me to go see what your dad had. And he had an envelope in his hand as he was leaning over against the sideline rail, and asked me to look at it, and it was my appointment from Congressman Bob Sykes to the Naval Academy, or the principal nomination, which is effectively the same thing. And my dad asked me, he said, who's this from and what did they get? I said, it's the Navy. He says, so who are you going to pick? Because I had gotten appointments to West Point and Air Force and the Coast Guard Academy as well. And I said, I think I'm going to take the Navy. And he said, well, and the Marine came out in my father. He says, remember one thing, you're just transportation. And that's my dad. He made us put boxing gloves on if we were arguing with each other, and 3 of my brothers are in here, and we remember fights in the backyard. But that's the Marine in him coming the whole way. So my journey, I already said that part. I gotta turn this page. Okay, along the way I've faced countless challenges and obstacles, but it's the lessons learned from my upbringing in the naval service that have guided me through the adversity and propelled me towards success. As a naval officer, I was taught the importance of leadership, integrity, and accountability, values that have been the cornerstone of my business career and my family life. When navigating the turbulent waters of the corporate world, my English major classmate insisted that I use that line. I strive to lead by example and uphold the principles of fairness and respect, while at the same time showing a willingness to make the hard decisions. Today is a day for celebration, but there's one person who changed my life who is not here today. My wife, Julie, who died 3 years ago from cancer. It is not here to say that this great honor is bestowed upon me. She was my loving partner for 20 years, and this award would not have happened without her trust, encouragement, and wise counsel. I know she's here in spirit. Remember that success is a team sport. Your classmates, your company mates, your enlisted mentors all helped you get to where you are today. And that will be even more true when you go to the fleet and later perhaps serve in the government or the private sector. Be a leader. Take care of your people and they will take care of you. Always give credit to your team for success and always take the full responsibility for your failures. That undoubtedly will come your way. As my golfing buddies like to say, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Well, I was fortunate to be a member of the great class, Naval Academy class of 1978, with an extraordinary number of flag officers and corporate leaders. Our stature as an elite class can be objectively, and not so objectively by me, applauded. Our class, like this situation, has a proud legacy of service. In closing, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my family and my son Jack and Will. A lot of them are here, so I'm glad they could make it, whose wavering love and support have been my greatest source of strength and inspiration. To my mentors, classmates, colleagues, and friends, some of who've traveled great distances to be here today, thank you for your believing in me and for helping me along the way. And finally, to the United States Naval Academy, thank you for this incredible honor. I will cherish it always, and I will continue to strive towards excellence in all that I do, guided by the timeless principles that were ingrained in me. So thank you very much.